Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Blame It on the Stars, where we give you an inside look to what's going on in the universe so you can blame your problems on the stars. It is Jade here.
And it's Kara.
And this week, we'll be talking all about what happens after Mercury retrograde ends. But in case you missed it, last week we talked all about the lunar eclipse in Scorpio, as well as Venus entering Cancer. So if you want to know more about those or missed last week's episode, definitely listen to that before diving into this one.
And just to give you a heads up, next week we will tell you everything you need to know about Jupiter in Taurus and the new moon in Taurus. Also, as you're listening to today's episode, if any astrology questions come up, please feel free to send them to us on Spotify and we will answer them in next week's episode.
And after a short ad break, we're going to dive right into it. So, Mercury retrograde. When does this end? That day when Mercury stations direct in Taurus is on May 14th at 11:17 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Per usual, the date and time are from the website astroseek.com. Now, what you need to know. When Mercury retrograde ends, that does mean that communication gets back on track. All of those little miscommunication things come to a close, and we no longer deal with the classic Mercury retrograde issues anymore.
So how this affects you is now you get to really experience the Mercury and Taurus energy without the retrograde, like G just said, without all of the miscommunication. During this time, we will be taking our time, not rushing things, also focusing on what is realistic and practical.
Why this matters is Taurus energy is a fixed sign, and if Mercury is all about communication, when Mercury is in Taurus without the retrograde anymore, it's a fantastic time to be firm about what you want. Maybe there were certain things you were realizing during the retrograde that now you're ready to make some changes and implement them. It's definitely a good time to do it and be really firm about what those changes are that you need to make in your life.
Something you might not know is that Jupiter will be entering Taurus and amplifying a lot of this Taurus energy. So it's really important that you take some time to reflect on the retrograde because those same themes will come up again with Jupiter entering Taurus and activating that energy in a different way.
So how long do you have while Mercury is in Taurus? Mercury will enter Gemini on June 11th at 6:27 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. So you have a little less than a month to really enjoy the rest of the Mercury and Taurus energy.
Mercury retrograde ending in Taurus is good news for all of the fixed signs. So if you have Taurus, Scorpio, Leo, or Aquarius placements, you might feel some relief as the retrograde ends and things start to come together again and be resolved.
Now, there are some key dates you'll want to pay attention to while Mercury is in Taurus. The first one being May 19th. Mercury will be sextile Saturn. This is a really good day for doing any long-term planning or working on any tasks that will be important in the long run. So if you need to really focus and concentrate and do some planning and organizing, definitely do it on May 19th.
And then on May 31st, Mercury Retrograde Post Shadow will end. So that's when we're officially done with the retrograde energy. So from May 14th to May 31st is when things will still be ending and resolving. And then after that, we will be done with the retrograde energy and again, get to just enjoy Mercury and Taurus.
Then on June 4th, Mercury will be conjunct Uranus. This might be a day where you're having some brand new ideas, taking on new perspectives, and maybe even having some sudden realizations about anything and everything.
And then on June 9th, Mercury will be sextile Neptune. This is another day that's really going to enhance our creativity. It also is a good day to have conversations with other people. It's a very understanding and empathetic energy.
A similar energy, but a little different, is on June 11th with Mercury trine Pluto. This is also a really good day for having really deep conversations and getting to know people on a little bit of a deeper level. This is very niche, but it might resonate for some specific people. This is also a really good day to do any deep research. Maybe you're finishing up a huge thesis for school. If you're still in school, June 11th, definitely the day to do that. So that's pretty much it on Mercury and Taurus. But if you have any questions about that, anything we talked about last week, or anything that we will talk about in the future, like Jupiter entering Taurus and the new moon in Taurus, which are what we're talking about next week, then definitely drop us questions on Spotify and we can answer them in the upcoming episodes. But if you have a question that you think is a little bit better suited for a personal reading, then this is your reminder. We do offer them. Readings are hosted on an app called Intro, which allows for FaceTime style calls. We can do readings for as short as 15 minutes to as long as 1 hour. You decide what you want to talk about, and we'll be able to answer any of the astrology questions you have face to face on the call.
And if you've never booked a reading with us before, then you can use the code STARS, all caps STARS, for $20 off your first reading.
And just a reminder again, next week we'll be talking all about Jupiter in Taurus and the new moon in Taurus. So definitely stay tuned for next week if you want to know more about that. But if you want to stay in the loop with us and what is to come, then make sure you're following us on social media. We are on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube at BLME The Stars. That is all for now, and we'll see you all next Monday.